Welcome back to New Rockstars. I'm Erik Voss, and The Batman released a new international trailer teasing new clues for what sounds like 3 hours of Robert Pattinson sleuthing, new creepy Wayne-obsessed vision boards, new bat tech, also separately the funeral scene to give us a sense of how well director Matt Reeves has perfected this film's tone. I am gonna break it all down to explain what you might have missed. Let's get started.
Like it or not, it's Riddler's game now.
I've always loved little puzzles.
What are we looking for? More symbols.
Jesus, his next victim is Bruce Wayne.
So standing on the same ledge of the GCPD's still under construction upper level where the bat signal sits, Batman says, like it or not, we are in the Riddler's game now. Of course, I think they were always dealing with this Riddler, but now the emphasis of the sentence is really on the word game. Like even when this Riddler is locked up, his game continues, which is probably why Batman's so mad. Then the Riddler's wall that we saw a close-up of in a past trailer showing photos of the Wayne family seated beside choir boy Edward Ashton, covered with "If I Only Knew Then What I Know Now," headlines about Thomas Wayne's past mayoral campaign promises of renewing Gotham's orphanages, and photos of adult Bruce Wayne with behind him a creepy smile that many of us think looks like Barry Keoghan, rumored to actually be the Joker of this movie instead of his reported role of Officer Stanley Merkel. But now in this trailer we see the full wall. The truth about Gotham written across the top. In the upper left, a Savage murder report, referring to Police Commissioner Pete Savage, but this newspaper headline maybe being an unwitting pun because he's likely gonna be one of the Riddler's murder targets. Another headline calls him Top Cop with his mouth cut or burned out of the photo. Maybe that could reflect how the Riddler murders him, because we know this Riddler has some kind of torture device apparatus that feeds directly into the victim's mouth. Now to the upper left of those Savage headlines, you can read Maroni drug bust, the same headline that was on Mayor Mitchell's wall in that crime scene, referring to Sal Maroni and the Maroni crime family, rivals to Carmine Falcone and his operation, whom I think Mayor Mitchell may have had a corrupt deal with to bust the Maronis to make business better for the Falcones. Corruption that District Attorney Gil Colson may also be part of, because Movie Maker did an in-depth interview with the cast and crew revealing that the names Colson and Mitchell, Colson specifically spelled with just an O, not the O-U, the normal spelling, is actually a nod to the Watergate scandal, in which political operative Charles Colson, spelled just C-O-L-S-O-N, and Attorney General John Mitchell helped President Richard Nixon cover up that scandalous break-in of the Democratic headquarters at the Watergate Hotel, which eventually brought the whole Nixon administration down. And then when asked about that, Matt Reeves confirmed that this story is actually one that exposes how Gotham itself is a sick, corrupt place. Now, also on this wall, we see police sketches of the Batman vigilante and newspaper reports of his activity. These sketches were actually teased in a promotional site set up for the film. Later in this trailer, a closer look of this area shows headlines about spotting the Caped Crusader, that's Batman's longtime moniker, in Uptown, and then another quoting the mayor, "I don't care what he's trying to do, no one takes the law into their own hands." And then another newspaper wondering if the Batman is friend or foe. Now zooming back out, there is another defaced campaign sign, Thomas Wayne for murderer. And then to the right of those, Edward wrote, "I know, ... I know the real you," which actually feels like a continuation of the thought in his previous statement. So putting these together, it's "If I only knew then what I know now, I know the real you." But the word real is underlined here, which could tie it in with this movie's wordplay and names that appears to exist in pretty much every character name of mayoral candidate Bella Real and her slogan, "A real change, a real change." But when we step back from this wall, it is clear that this was presented by Edward Ashton for the GCPD to find. This whole wall is a little puzzle to distract and delay the police to spend all of their time trying to decode when Riddler's really just planning to blow shit up anyway. From Coulson's neck to the seawalls of this city, flooding it, wiping the slate clean from decades of unfair city planning, and to score some personal revenge for Ashton's inner scars from those false promises of renewal, as he was likely an orphan who may have a personal connection to the Wayne family. Now, are you looking to up your smell game, but not looking to drain your bank or spend a lot of time aimlessly wandering around a fragrance aisle avoiding those sniper spritzes? Gotcha! Now you smell the way I want you to smell. Thanks? Well, Scentbird is a flexible fragrance subscription service that lets you shop from over 600 brands. Scentbird lets you choose a new designer fragrance to try every month. They have perfumes and colognes and a lot of unisex options. You can discover new fragrances by taking a simple quiz on Scentbird. Based on your preferences, previous purchases, and quiz answers, they'll help you to find the fragrance that you will love. So I got a couple fragrances this month, and they come with these little cards that tell you. I received Sense of Wood Vetiver and Oak, Gucci Made to Measure, Robert Cavalli. I liked them all a lot, but I mean, Gucci made me feel pretty Gucci. It was just a really nice scent. It has kind of a spiciness, which the accompanying card says includes lavender, plum, leather, bergamot, and cinnamon, matched with Sri Lankan nutmeg. That's why I love it so much. Love nutmeg. With these, you just use this really cool dispenser system, and you just like spray it here. Ooh, and just spray it here. Yep. It's a good amount of scent, 8 times the amount of a normal sample. And with each fragrance, you get a 30-day supply, so you can try out fragrances before committing to a full bottle of it. And you can upgrade to receive 2 or 3 products a month. So make sure to use NR55 for 55% off. It's just $7 for your first month of Scentbird, available in the US and in Canada. And thanks again to Scentbird for sponsoring this episode. Now then we see a crime scene camera flashing on an actual bat in a cage. Now I'm assuming this was actually the animal kept in Nashton's cages, perhaps used to torture his victims. I thought it was going to be a rat, but it sounds like it's going to be a bat, but that trickery does line up with the cipher at the end of all these trailers, which translates to "You are el rata alada," which is Spanish for "You are the winged rat." And having this bat in the crime scene is just another way that Nashton is calling out the Batman directly. And if you think about it, this camera flash hits the bat as it outstretches its wings, which for a brief second on the wall behind it would form a literal bat signal there. Then we see the most techie this Batman's gear has gotten, an eye contact lens embedded with nano circuitry to record everything Batman sees. He places this contact lens on an upload sensor and then a close-up of Bruce's bloodshot eyeball watching back footage as if on another screen, maybe scrubbing back through all that footage to see what he missed. Hey, can I get one of these when I watch this 3-hour movie so I don't have to break it down from memory and don't have to read poorly written notes scribbled in the dark? Now, other trailer footage has shown red-tinted photography taken from a curved fisheye style lens, including that shot of Selena Kyle on the screen behind him in the Batcave, which likely explains how Bruce captured all that imagery. Now, if you look at Bruce's eyeball, it looks like reflected there is a screen that is split 3 ways, which looks a lot like the layout GC1 used when that news station reported the Riddler's live stream with Batman, putting the vertical oriented phone in the middle, making it look like there were 3 frames there. We saw this in other trailer footage. I am wondering if Bruce may now be scanning his lens footage for any and all sightings of the Riddler symbol around the city that until this point, he just may have passed each night not thinking anything of it. And then Gordon realizes that the Riddler is targeting Bruce Wayne next, though not yet clear if Gordon has himself put together that Bruce Wayne is Batman. I mean, let's think about it. Both the Batman and Bruce Wayne are public figures in Gotham City with their own headlines. It wouldn't be that unusual for this serial killer to be obsessed with both these figures, even if many of his printouts on his wall do put the 2 right beside each other. Let's move on.
It can be cruel, poetic, or blind, but when it's denied, it's your violence you may find.
The answer's justice.
Okay, the voice of the Riddler really underlines the word violence with some savagery.
It's your violence you may find.
Yes, he chose violence. Maybe when he recorded that, he exerted himself to commit a particular violent act, like taking the life of his next victim. Now, also released was the full 2-minute clip of the scene that shows the funeral of Mayor Mitchell. It picks up with Bella Real telling Bruce Wayne that he could do more for his city, confirming through context that she is now running for Mitchell's now empty seat. Then Bruce eavesdrop on Lieutenant Gordon and Chief Mackenzie Bach, played by Con O'Neill.
Gil Coulson is missing.
What?
Hasn't been heard from since last night.
Christ, not again.
Hey, Mr. Wayne.
And then when Bruce has to turn away awkwardly, they all start hearing this noise from outside. Reeves' direction and the editing make this all so tense. Like, we know what's coming in the church ever since that first teaser, but still, those sounds of the faint screams and the gunshot pops and the engine rever just grows louder and louder over these choir boys singing Ave Maria. And doing it this way, we feel what Bruce and these other funeral attendees feel. Like, not here, not at a funeral, we're in a church. Surely this must be a safe place, until it becomes clear. In this Gotham and in the Riddler's game, nowhere is safe. You can support New Rockstars by checking out our merch options at newrockstarsmerch.com. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter at Erik Voss. Follow New Rockstars. And subscribe to New Rockstars for more analysis of everything you love. Thanks for watching, Batman.